but then I wasn't gonna send it publicly. I was gonna clip that whole experience, but it ended up because shit like that, imagery like that would have ended up on the internet in a matter of fucking days, like it did. We were pretty much would have done it. It would have been us, and it would have been a bunch of white dudes hanging a black dude, shooting their guns up in the air and shit, you know. So
So
they can't have that.
so fucked.
Like I said, I'm going to hell for that one. But hey, you started it, man.
I don't
Dude,
know. It's
they're,
not
they're
that.
racist as
It's
fuck
not
on
that.
Red Dead. You're
It's
gonna
the
find out,
fact
Ed.
that it's the fact that there
I'm just
shouldn't
telling you.
be that the
I
fact
know.
that that shit is still happening is just so fucked.
200 years is not long enough. Hasn't even been 200 years.
Wow, they voted to kick me right away.
But you're gonna. I'm just saying, you had an experience with black people being racist on Rainbow. I'm telling you right now.
Well, they weren't
It is
being racist
alive.
against me, dude. They were being. I don't know if he was white or black or what he was, but he was being extremely racist, and there was a bunch of black people in there, and it's like they couldn't hear him or like they were ignoring
No, I
him.
get it. I get it. They're
And I was like,
racist, dude. Towards their own, towards others, they're racist, man. Not all of them, but a
well,
lot.
well, they weren't ignoring him. I don't know if they heard him or what. They kicked him after I was like, dude, he's fucking saying the N-word over and over and over. And like he's sneak dissing, you know what I mean? He was fucking being all.
Yeah.
And that shit just doesn't fucking.
You're,
Don't fly.
you've had,
It don't fly with me, bro.
I get it.
I will call you out on that shit. Like if you're fucking.
I get it. I get it, but
When
like,
I moved from
thing
Omaha,
is-
the only friend that I had in Clarinda was the only black kid in the town.
yeah.
Me and him were the odd men out.
I'm
So
telling
it's
you
like-
now, bro.
it's
You've
like-
had experiences though.
Well, yeah,
I
I've
get
had
that experience.
I've had racism portrayed against me from black people. Extreme racism.
You're
I'm
gonna
talking.
find out.
I'm talking
I'm just
about
warning you.
being. I'm talking about actually being jumped and being physically assaulted for being white.
Oh yeah. Oh well, dude, I'm just letting you know. Well, it's gonna happen on video games in Red Dead. It's alive and well, thriving. So be prepared.
Because before I moved to Clarinda, I lived in a bad neighborhood. You know, it was
Oh yeah.
predominantly black.
Yeah, they just get jumped just for being white. Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
angry. They're just angry because they're in the shitty part. Because
It's not my.
I'm
It's
sorry,
not
man.
my people's fault though. Really, it's.
I know it's not. It's not. They could get out and do something.
It's a
with it
trap.
instead of
I'll admit
fucking-
that. We did create it as a trap to keep people there.
For real. For real. But what's stopping them? What's stopping them?
Themselves.
You know what's stopping them? Exactly. They're
ignorance.
just sitting there moping around and letting that
It's
weigh
not
them
that.
down.
They don't mope. They're ignorant.
And they're letting that weigh them down. They're letting that fucking feeling
Yeah,
of
oh,
I'll never
this,
get anywhere
oh,
because
that.
they fucking made it this way, and they're always out to get me.
You need to locate the biohazard
And that's not
container.
true, man. If I
I'm
had
not saying
any
you gotta
power,
be a fucking
if
lawyer
I
or a
had,
doctor.
if I had any power, I would. If I had power to give black people jobs, I
The
would.
biohazard container has been located.
You know.
I'm a firm believer of go out and make it work for yourself. Don't have shit handed to you just because people 200 years before me fucking had it bad.
Yeah, because that wasn't me, bro.
I'll admit.
And I am strongly against
Exactly.
racism.
Yeah, and I'll make sure I'll try to, and I'll definitely
Like I'll
promote
call
that and get rid of
motherfuckers
that.
out,
go.
bro. Like my own people. If we have people, which we don't. I don't. Just because I'm white doesn't mean white people like me.
Proceed to the biohazard
If I had
container and
power,
secure
you know
it.
what
I'm
I'd do?
hated
I'd
as equally by white people as I am by black people.
I would outlaw racism. If you're caught being racist in public,
Death, punishable by death.
not death, but
It should
definitely
be.
a severe
That's-
punishment, and you shouldn't be. No, because that's like Nazism. You don't want to like, because that's like anti. It's a different form of it, but you know, it's still the same thing. But you can't do that. But you should have punishment, and you shouldn't. It should just be like, you know.
They shouldn't be
the same
allowed to
thing as,
breed
like,
and
you-
shit, bro.
If they find racism like in your home, like they would, you know, if it was like child pornography or something, same thing, you know. But like, yeah, racism should be treated like that, like it's being a pedophile,
Op 4 last
I
operator
think.
standing.
And I think that like if you were caught in public and there are witnesses to it, then you can prove that you did it, you know. Then, yeah, I would. I mean, I wouldn't. After a while, it would just go away, and then you could just get rid of that law.
Nicely done.
But because after a while, it would go
Secure.
away. Racism would. But that would go for everyone. That would go for black people, white people, yellow people, brown people, red people.
Exactly. It shouldn't exist, I don't think. It should have been abolished a long time ago, and then that sneak diss racism should have... The people who were doing it should have been killed then. They shouldn't have been allowed to have offspring and shit.
People like to say the founding fathers. This country's never been pure. People like to say the founding fathers. The founding fathers
They were
were
immigrants.
gonna deal. They were. No, listen to this. They were gonna deal with racism. They were gonna deal with racism and vote whether or not to make it illegal or not. Back when they did back when they started the whole thing in 1776, they voted in 1778 to postpone the
Protect the biohazard container. Secure the room.
the vote, or just the whole discussion in general, for 80 years. You know why?
Why?
Because they'd be dead by then. Wouldn't be their problem.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
They're not.
Op 4 drone
They're not
located
fucking
the
good people.
biohazard
They were not good people. All those motherfuckers had slaves.
Well, yeah.
But technically, back then, white people could be slaves too. There wasn't many of them, but there were.
10 seconds left.
There was slavery was like slavery really knew no color really
Down to 5 seconds.
back then, and before then especially.
Op 4 has located the biohazard container.
You know, racism does not really exist that much in other foreign countries.
Yeah, we're the only
It's
we're the only
not the
one
only,
like
but we're the
it.
most. But like in England, it's still kind of around, but not. It's like a fourth of what we have here. They just don't look at, because you know England outlawed slavery like I don't know X amount of years before we did. We were the
Yeah.
last country to do it. We were one of the last countries to do it. To legally have slavery. I think we were the last. And I get that, like, how it was is, you know, people that were alive for when it happened, you know, racist motherfuckers were like, oh, hell no, and they were bitter as fuck about it, and they taught their children to be bitter as fuck about it. Seeing them grow up, those children had to grow up and see other black kids grow up and have their freedom, and they hated it. They're like, my daddy says you should, you know, and that's all they know because their parents taught them. And then the next generation felt the same way because black people were actually doing, you know, this is probably around the 60s and 40s, 60s and shit, you know, black people were starting to, you know, thrive and do well for themselves, you know, become musicians and stuff.
Hey, that other one's down. It's just 1v1. Okay.
Operator
Are
standing.
not being taught the same thing. You know, my pappy always told me, and I always felt firmly as well. Them goddamn niggers, so and so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's just, that's what I'm saying. It was a evolutionary thing, whether we knew it or not. Those
And
racists,
those
who
those
were
kids-
allowed to survive, taught their
Mhm.
babies to be racist.
And
then
that's what we
racism
have today.
continued.
Yep. And the same goes for black people, you know what I'm saying? The black people were alive when they were given their slavery, you know? White people always have to get us. And they were. There are a lot of them were, you know? And that's just how it kind of still exists to this day, is what I'm trying to get at, is... you know,
Yeah,
black
as in
people
a
were alive when it
psychological
happened.
way.
Yes, yes, it is. And so on, you know? The black people taught their children, you know, we were slaves, you know, and white people always have to get you, so don't ever trust them, you know?
Yep.
So they were taught that, and they would experience that because what I said prior, and they would tell their kids.
Because they would
white
experience it
people
because
always
they
have to
were
get you.
out looking for it.
Yep. It takes a really long time to explain that, but I've always tried to explain that to somebody. Because that's what it is. That's a big, huge,
It's a
huge, that's like
psychological
75% of it.
Of racism.
Yeah. And then you got smaller things like the government, people, the racist motherfuckers who would get into power in government, you know, and the CIA and stuff. The CIA introduces crack into the fucking suburbs of the fucking black people.
Oh,
you know?
in 76.
Can't remember what year it was.
was 1976.
Yep, and before that, you know,
when it got
and
introduced into the ghettos.
all that shit.
They were
What?
testing it before. It's just hard for, like, how can you be, there's racist people, and how can you be racist against me when I live in the ghetto with you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what don't jive with me. Like, how are you gonna be racist against me when I'm as black? I live in this ghetto, so I may as well be black. If it's all because of white people, then I'm black, bro.
Insertion in 5 seconds.
You know?
Well, yeah, I just think everyone
Why
should
am
just
I being
realize that the
subjected
world
to it?
sucks.
Why am I being subjected to it if it was white man's creation?
I think everyone should just realize the world sucks for everybody. And
Yeah.
sure, there are some people with power that are biased against others, and that makes it very unfortunate. But it goes both ways in all directions. And we gotta realize the world just sucks.
Yeah, and when I called that
You gotta
racist out,
cling
he was
on
like,
to
I'm
the-
Mexican and my mom's black. And I was like, I don't give a fuck what you are, bro.
Right.
Honestly. Don't be racist. Racism is...
That's why you're like, if your mama heard you right now.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it when he said it. When he was like, I'm black. I was like, okay, well, if your fucking mother heard you talking that shit, you would get your ass whipped. Well, my mom would whip my ass. Period.
Yeah, same.
That'd be it. I get my ass whipped.
People are people. Everything in the world sucks. Cling to what you love, not to what you hate. That's all I gotta say. I hate everybody equally until you show me otherwise. How about
Yep.
that? If you want to be hateful, how about that? Now, if you want to be respectful, then I respect everybody equally until you show me that you don't deserve it. And I think that's how we should be. I'm accepting of everyone, but I'm also the type that's like, see, this is why I don't consider myself Republican or Democrat fully, because I accept everyone and I think everyone should have a chance.
Op 4 last operator
But at the
standing.
same time,
Secure the
you gotta do it
container.
yourself. You can't just expect shit to be easy and have it to be given to you, because shit's not easy and it sucks. You know? And being blue collar, you gotta figure that shit out yourself, you know?
Nice work. Biohazard container secured.
Gabe, I'm wrecking right now. 6-0, baby. 6-0, baby. This game. Jesus. I could afford to take this one off, you know? Shit. Fuck, dude. My team, I'm gonna send you a screenshot real quick of what's happening right now. It's so funny. Look at the rest of my team, bro.
Op 4 drone has found the biohazard container. Ammo ready. Deploying jammer.
Damn.
Did you see? Do you see that?
These numbers don't even
Down
add
to
up.
10 seconds.
Like on the opposite team, how does that even work? How do they have that many kills? You've only got 4 guys 3 times.
Protect the biohazard
I don't
container at
know.
all costs.
I don't know how they've got those kills. It's not
You
me
streaming
dying.
right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I always stream my Rainbow when I'm doing well.
We're having like deep conversations and shit about racism and stuff. Dude, I think Piranha's is about due for another DLC. I'm not saying they need one, I'm just saying I think it's about time they're probably gonna put one in. More money! Yeah, I got an update. So.
You have entered an enemy-controlled area. Leave now. You have been spotted.
You should be streaming to Twitch, man.
What? I use YouTube.
You should stream to Twitch. That's where it's at. I'm not saying YouTube's not cool, but that's not what YouTube's known for, you know? Don't get me wrong, I get down with the streams on YouTube though. Watch King of the Hill streaming all the time.
Prevent further
Even
access
if
to the
it's like the same
biohazard
5
container.
episodes.
Op 4 is securing the biohazard container. Intervene immediately. Biohazard container securing paused. Take out the hostage. Protect the biohazard container.
Shut
Friendly
the fuck up.
Hostiles eliminated.
Listen to this, Ed. On for honor.
What?
God, they're just money grabbing. Money, 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 money. For 3 weeks only, Abstergo Industries invites you to sync with the past and unleash
what?
your inner warrior. Fight for the creed and find unique loot, including effects, ornaments, and outfits for all
For
heroes.
Assassin's
Only
Creed.
available. Yeah. December 20th, starting today. Oh shit. Through January 10th. Well, I got
What's
on
up?
it, Ed. You know what you gotta do. For the creed.
You hungry?
Shut the fuck up.
I'm hungry too, I gotta call your
dude.
mom.
Oh my god, money grabbing cunts.
Does it cost money?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just an event. But still, it's just, you know, it's just something. It's a promotional thing, you know. Hey, Ed, guess what?
What? Really?